Welcome to Smash Fiction, the podcast where each week we pit two or more fictional characters against one another in a battle of strength, or wits, or hiding your secret identity from your police officer father, and argue about who would win. This week, Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen. The golden disk of the sun has just dipped below the glistening Pacific Ocean, and night has fallen over Los Angeles. The last of the black limousines have pulled away. The last of the crowd in gray suits and twinkling ball gowns have found their seats. Hors d'oeuvre platters circulate, champagne glasses clink, and the doors to the convention center shut. The room is...
Oh my god, we were warned, you guys. We were warned.
The room is filled from faded carpet to Art Deco wallpaper with the most decorated police officers from across the country, all gathered here tonight for the country's second largest semi-annual law enforcement fundraising event west of the Mississippi, the Burt Macklin Memorial Fundraising Gala. It is to be a night of expensive portions of small food, stiff old person dancing, and endless overlong speeches full of empty platitudes and applause bait. And you know me, if there's anything I can't stand, it's an overlong speech. For there are no shortage of problems in our country today, and rest assured, this fundraising gala tonight will offer solutions to none of them. But perhaps the immediate threat that is being ignored this evening is the fact that about 4 hours ago, someone called in a bomb threat to the convention center unless the event was canceled. Needless to say, it was not. But fear not, for among the special guests gathered here this evening are some of the most dangerous crime fighters in the world, and they are on the case. No, they aren't going to be listed in that brochure you were handed at the door, because these special guests are a pair of vigilantes who were most certainly not invited. Well, not directly. They were brought along as plus ones. First up is Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, brought along by her father, Commissioner James Gordon. And Barbara, after growing tired of the endless chest-beating speeches, after hearing a rumor of the supposed bomb threat, and after catching a glimpse of a suspicious young woman who resembled a blonde Emma Stone, slipped away to the back room, changed into her purple batsuit, and grappling gunned up to the roof. And next up is Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Woman, but let's be real here, aka Spider-Gwen, brought along by her father, Captain George Stacy. And Gwen, after trying all the hors d'oeuvres and finding them wanting, after also hearing of a rumor of a supposed bomb threat, and after catching a glimpse of a suspicious young woman who resembled a red-headed Alicia Silverstone, slipped away to a back room and changed into her white spider hoodie and wall crawled up to the roof. The two heroes lock eyes, and you can probably guess where things go from here. I mean, how many episodes of the show have we done at this point? They totally start making out. Just kidding. They fight each other. It's a podcast about fighting. But who shall be victorious? Will Gwen show Barbara that she can indeed do whatever a Spider-Gwen? Or will Spider-Woman herself get caught in the tangled web of Batgirl's continuity? Because last time I checked, wasn't she like paralyzed? I don't know, man.
Long story.
Yeah.
She's fine. Ish.
She got better? She thinks she'll go for a walk?
That's about it.
I don't know, man. I stopped reading comic books around the time the Blob ate the Wasp, which is why I, Colin Mulcairn, shall be your impartial judge this week. Representing Team Batgirl are Dan Mulcairn,
Spider-Gwen, getting her ass kicked again.
and Miles Schneiderman.
Compare either character to gods all you want. Just don't mention that bullshit at the beginning of the Killing Joke movie.
Please.
And representing Team Spider-Gwen are Kit Mulcairn.
Urban Assault Spider-Gwen is about to battle damage your sorry butt like it's 1993.
Nice. Nice.
And Liz Logan.
I may not be Doctor Doom this time, but you're all a bunch of stupid bats still. Also, Miles is a traitor.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Doom.
No. You don't have to say Doom this time.
To see who was going first this week, we're going to have a little contest, because once Dan opened that Pandora's box, it is just, I cannot resist going back.
We haven't had a contest in a while.
Yeah. So, there have been many characters that have borne the name of Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl, Batwoman, or Batgirl. Excluding the two characters we have tonight, we're going to see which team can name more of them.
Oh, come the fuck on. You know, Dan's on that team. What the fuck are you doing? That's not fair. That's why fuck these contests. Fuck this game. I'm gone. All I know is the wonderful Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew.
Kid, if it makes you feel any better, that's all I know.
I mean, she's the best. What are you gonna do?
Dude, I don't know any of this shit. Fucking
Yeah, I think this is a pretty one-sided match.
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone.
Dan, how many can you name?
So on the Spider-Woman side, we have Julia Carpenter, Anya Corazon, Mayday Parker. Let me see.
I'm sorry, what?
Mayday
Did you say
Parker.
Mayday Parker?
Yes, Mayday Parker.
Oh my god, fuck you, comics.
Maddie Franklin. I think those were all the spider... Oh, and
Nope.
Cindy Moon as Silk. On the Bat female side, we have Cassandra Cain, Kate Kane. Was Stephanie Brown ever a Bat person?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's all I can name from the Bat side.
That was fun.
Yes.
Was it?
Super fun.
All right. So, I guess Team Batgirl's up first this week, and that's a pretty great power. And with great power comes... Oh, wait. You guys don't know about that.
Nope.
Well, I guess good luck.
Imagine, if you will, that this match was Batman versus Spider-Man. Those are two characters who are very comparable, and it would be a really close and interesting fight. Their abilities and resources differ, but they both have a ton of experience at what they do. Now, consider if that match was current-day Batman versus high school-age Spider-Man from Amazing Fantasy number 15. Spidey's getting a giant-sized beatdown, no question. The difference between these two matches is, of course, that bread and butter of every D&D character: experience. And it's the reason that Batgirl walks out of here today with a win. Thanks to her father, Jim Gordon, Batgirl has been trained in how to fight since she was a child, to the point that as a teenager, she was attacked by a human trafficker with the build of a Street Fighter character, and won. Batman saw this fight and was so impressed that he agreed to let her join him and Robin on their crusade. So, if this was just about combat skill, Barbara Gordon would be more than fine. But she's also one of the DC Universe's greatest super geniuses. She was attending university by age 15, is able to hack into government computer systems with top-shelf security within minutes, and develops a sophisticated algorithm which can accurately predict social mapping on a gigantic scale as a school project. Furthermore, she has a perfect photographic memory combined with amazing situational awareness, which manifests itself in various ways, including her remembering the exact location and movements of everyone at a party that took place several nights before, or the time when, after a short and intense fight in a parking garage, she is shown to have memorized every license plate there. But Batgirl, despite all of her skill, is no superhuman, right? But Barbara has done this dance before, often against groups of superhumans, and come out on top. Part of the reason that Batgirl succeeds against such incredible odds is that she is perceptive enough to pick up on opportunities in her opponents or environment, and clever enough to exploit them. In issue 9, Batgirl fights Strix, a super zombie assassin used by the Court of Owls. Strix is superhumanly fast, strong enough to shatter Batgirl's body armor with her fists, has decades of intensive training and experience, and can recover from just about anything. Not only that, but Batgirl is forced to fight her without knowing anything about her or the Court of Owls, and she still wins by goading Strix into fighting recklessly and using her own strength and force against her. That's what we call Bat Judo. During the Death of the Family storyline, where the Joker takes his revenge on each member of the Bat family, the only one to hand Joker a definitive defeat, aside from Batman himself, is Batgirl. The Joker starts off this confrontation in an undeniable position of power, with Barbara's mother tied to a chair with a nail bomb underneath it. But Batgirl tricks him into getting within the blast radius of the bomb so he can't set it off, and then proceeds to use the Joker's own henchmen against him, and then takes out 12 of his heavily armed goons at once, and cripples the Joker with several surgical strikes to his kidneys, liver, and spine. And this is the terrifying New 52 version of the Joker, who cut off his own face and wore it like a mask. The truth is, it wouldn't matter if Spider-Gwen had a month of preparation, Hulk-level strength, access to the Speed Force, and Spawn's weird tentacle cape. She can't think with the same speed and precision that Batgirl can. And that means that Batgirl gets to dictate the way this fight goes. We've seen time and again that if Batgirl can outthink her opponent, she can defeat her opponent. And when it comes to brains, Gwen Stacy is no Barbara Gordon.
Look, when it comes to weird as fuck, crazily drawn Bizarro comics that embrace millennial vernacular and feature Felicia Hardy as some kind of uber glam musical Avenger and Matt Murderdoc, #Murderdoc, as the world's evilest lawyer, I am all about Spider-Gwen. Her book is way more fun to read than anything with Bat in the title. But unfortunately, that's her biggest problem in this fight. Because part of the reason Gwen is fun to read is because she's an immensely flawed heroine who is far more compelling character than Master of Combat. And in a fight with one of Batman's brainwashed Gotham City Gestapo, she's gonna get squashed like a bug. As Dan alluded to, Gwen's primary advantage comes in the form of her strength and her superpowers, which is something that Batgirl has a ton of experience dealing with. and most of the super strong opponents Batgirl has taken out have had way more control and training than Gwen has. Both Matt Murdock and Silk have commented on the fact that Gwen, whose passion in life is playing the drums, has no idea how to throw a punch, and it's also been revealed that Gwen learned most of her fighting moves from watching kung fu movies. That might work for punching out giant Russian henchmen who hold back because they think you're on their side, but Batgirl is the one making Enter the Dragon references in a house of mirrors, while fighting a dude named Mirror. You have to remember, not only is Gwen a bit of a recluse...
Oh, nice job.
Yeah, that's Spider Humor.
Game, Miles.
That was actually Dan's joke.
Yes, it
I
was.
can't take credit. She also comes from Earth 65, a little corner of the Marvel Universe that doesn't seem to contain a lot of superhuman action. She's done some dimension hopping, sure, but her exposure to and training with any sort of combat beyond her own just go with it style has been inconsistent and highly limited. Barbara Gordon has been training with Batman, Nightwing, really everyone who's ever put on a pointy-eared hat in Gotham City since the time she was a teenager, to say nothing of her time with Black Canary and the Birds of Prey. And as Barbara herself says, when she trains till her fists bleed. Gwen is a complete heroing noob, which would explain why she's been knocked out by Captain America, unmasked by Frank Castle, not the Punisher, mind you, just plain old Frank Castle, and nearly killed by the Vulture due to her own stupidity and recklessness. Her fighting a tactically minded combat machine like Babs is going to be like a spider having its legs pulled off by a recon marine. And Gwen's lack of experience also means that she is terrible at improvisation, especially when compared to Batgirl. Barbara Gordon is a genius, and she built most of her equipment herself. If something goes wrong with her toys, or if she gets her utility belt jammed with webbing or something, she's going to know how to fix it, or modify it on the fly if necessary. Gwen got her web shooters from Janet Van Dyne, and she doesn't have Peter Parker's scientific background. She's into music, not machine shop. Anything goes wrong with those web shooters, like, for example, a batarang, and the only thing Gwen will have is the world's most creative answer to the Cards Against Humanity question, why am I sticky? And Batgirl will also be able to quickly assess Gwen as a threat and come up with ideas to defeat her, whereas Gwen's most tactical idea to date has involved graffitiing juvenile insults on various buildings in New York. Gwen, I love you, but having a wisecracking spider pig as your spirit animal isn't going to be enough to help you on this one. If only your comic had been about your transformation into a kick-ass crime fighter, instead of being about learning how to make time for your friends and the Mary Janes. Oh well. Maybe there will be a cozy place for you in Arkham. Or, even better, in the official marching band of the new Battopia. Gotham, Gotham, Uber Alles!
Alright. Wonderful opening arguments from Team Batgirl. Team Spider-Gwen, I accidentally used my Spider-Gwen opener on them, so it's your turn, and I guess, I don't know, bam, whiff, pow?
Spider-Gwen! Here I am. I'm going to weave a tangled web of arguments. Just you wait. After surviving a bite from a radioactive spider, a crashing of prom, a cop dad, and basically being the lady version of Dante, there isn't much Spider-Gwen can't handle. Whether it be through coordination and strength, since she can play a sick set on drums and lift 10 tons, very useful for lifting your drum set, or have some tingly spider sense or cling on walls without any aid, Spider-Gwen is the last spider you want to find on your wall. Spider-Gwen has taken on so many crazy enemies and people that are way smarter and deadlier than Batgirl. Spider-Gwen easily defeated Matt Murdock's evil assassin-y plans in her alternate universe. And remember, Matt Murdock is blind, and we all know the saying, blind as a bat. And you know who is a bat? Batgirl. Instant win for Spider-Gwen.
We can just call the match here. I think they just won.
Plus, everyone talks about, how smart Batgirl is. Well, Murdock is smart too because he's a sick attorney. And old Spider-Gwen, as concerned as she is about what dress she's going to wear to prom or how good she looks in her new spidery suit, was able to beat him. She's also defeated the Inheritors, semi-intergalactic genocidal hunters charged with exterminating spider totems. She ultimately defeated the Vulture, who can fly and has super sharp claws, by faking her death and webbing him the fuck up. It's not like this guy wasn't smart either, since he's an ex-Oscorp employee. Plus, Spider-Gwen has shown she's adept at dodging, and if she can dodge a bullet at close range, then she can most certainly dodge batarangs, a key component in Batgirl's arsenal. If this was a fight taking place in the lovely circa 1995 Hackers universe, Batgirl would no doubt take the win. But guess what? It isn't. More of Batgirl's power is in her ability to manipulate technology and pore over every nook and cranny of the art of war. The quickest way to take care of Gwen would be to threaten or harm her loved ones, and well, Batgirl wouldn't be harming any innocents in this fight. And now let me approach the actual fighting, as Miles briefly brought up. Spider-Gwen is known for utilizing Kung Fu, and is said to not know how to throw a punch. Batgirl is known for utilizing karate and judo. Well, guess what? It's time for poker versus chess to take a seat, because I'm about to get all martial artsy on you, okay? We are replacing this. The parent of karate, Kung Fu, has been around since BC times and is comprised of multiple fighting styles with a huge variety of strikes, kicks, everything. Karate literally means empty hands and is meant to be practiced as an unarmed martial art. Kung Fu, however, also encompasses wushu, a style utilizing various weapons. And if we think Spider-Gwen can't improvise, her knowing Kung Fu is basically saying that she can improvise. She probably is like, oh, Spider, here's my Spider set of moves. Oh, Bat, well, here's my Bat set of moves, because that's how Kung Fu is basically done. You have Praying Mantis, all sorts of things. Plus, when it's stated that someone knows Kung Fu, it's reasonable to assume that they know multiple styles and a variety of those strikes and kicks. Kung Fu is basically a versatile lifestyle. It's an emphasis on being one with your movements and choices, whereas karate is more linear, and possibly more open to making mistakes and underestimating your opponent and trying to use speed to compensate. Even while being armed with judo, Batgirl, that's only good for really throwing your opponent on the ground, few strikes sprinkled within, but that's only if you can catch them. With Kung Fu's circular movements and lightning fast punches, Batgirl won't even get the chance. Kung Fu even includes many of the throws that are incorporated in judo, so Spider-Gwen will be able to see through Batgirl's moves. And plus she's got her spider sense, that even helps her more. But hey, at least with that eidetic memory of hers, Batgirl can recall how many spidey punches it took for her face to turn into beautiful bat meat. So according to Vegas odds, you'd want to put your money on Spider-Gwen, the person who lives and breathes their fighting style.
Liz, can we go back and have you discuss maybe the roll, pitch, and yaw of Kung Fu while you're at it?
Oh, please do.
Miles, we kind of started with a very similar tone here. I thought it was pretty hilarious. Let me just start by saying Batgirl's great on a lot of different levels.
Oh, y'all are being so polite tonight.
No, she's not.
No, they're both great characters, damn it! Okay, and it hurts my heart that I had to take a side today. But as much as I like the various Bats of DC, I love Marvel's many, many spiders. And I just don't fucking care about their actual names. They're like real people names. And in my very correct opinion, Liz and I are lucky to be on Spider-Gwen's side. She is the superior vermin-themed superhero of this match, and here's why. Barbara Gordon is a great detective, and, like many Bat comics, investigation and mystery is a large part of how she ultimately saves the day. But this narrative doesn't involve Babs knowing about, researching, and setting a trap for Spider-Gwen. This is your classic superheroes meet and fight because misunderstanding. This is not where Gordon shines. Perhaps the best example of this is in her downright slow takedown of a villain called the Mirror. This wacko didn't have superpowers. He was just a former government agent whose family died in a car bombing, which he survived, that then caused him to want to murder innocent people who also miraculously survived freak accidents. It's weird, whatever.
Not weird. It's dark. It's beautiful.
The Mirror was strong, really strong, and a good fighter, a really good fighter. But he wasn't superpowered. Batgirl herself admitted in her self-narration boxes that she needed to plan ahead to defeat the Mirror because he's, and I quote, almost inhumanly strong. That's almost. Gwen actually is inhumanly strong, and then some. When she fights the Rhino, she punches him completely through a brick wall. The woman can lift 10 tons for shit's sake. When a cop shoots at her from only a meter away, she easily dodges. She can cling to walls, no need for well-placed ledges. She has perfect balance, no training required. And let's not forget the amazing web shooters gifted to her by former Wasp Janet Van Dyne. They never run out of that sticky white fluid because the webbing is generated from air moisture and, presumably, science? With it, Gwen can craft a crude shield, web wings, a giant corn dog, whatever. And like actual spider webbing, it's an incredibly strong material. In Volume 2, Issue 2, she and Captain America use her webbing to pull down the stone ceiling of a sewer onto the Kurt Connors lizard. Look, I really like Batgirl, but she simply doesn't have the time to go through her routine of fighting and losing a few times, researching her target, and setting a trap. Spider-Gwen's not like your typical low-powered Gotham supervillains. If it was her versus the Mirror, she'd have had him wrapped up in web goop and knocked out on their first meeting before he could go on to kill several more people, like when Batgirl was on the case. On this fateful day, when two badass superheroines meet and attempt to beat each other, Spider-Gwen will leap and wall crawl and spin webs on and around Batgirl, and all it'll take to KO Babs is one spider-powered punch. Barbara may have been trained by Batman, but she's limited by her physique and time spent in a wheelchair from a condition that doctors have said could return. So maybe she should find a radioactive bat to bite her? Then maybe this will be a fair fight. Unless she gets radioactive rabies. Then she's fucked.
Very well done, Team Spider-Gwen. All right, so I think that it is time for us to back over to Team Batgirl for some rebuttals. Team Batgirl, I tried to look up some quotes to the 1997 film Batman and Robin, which is Batgirl's only cinematic appearance, and I found none that were worth quoting. So
Really, no Mr. Freeze quotes?
I wanted Batgirl quotes specifically. So
Well, it seems like in terms of Batgirl quotes, Colin, you're clueless.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that was good. I like that. All right, go for it. Say words.
First and foremost, you made it sound as though Spider-Gwen herself beat the Inheritors, which are basically interdimensional spider-hunting vampires. She was part of that group, which consisted of every single Spider-Man ever from every conceivable universe, including the weird Japanese one where he has a giant mech called Leopardon. So,
And the pig. Don't forget the
of
pig.
course, the pig. So,
Spider-Ham.
I mean, Gwen was one of about 80 in that fight, but you made it sound as though she single-handedly defeated the Inheritors, and that is absolutely false.
Whatever, she kicked in all the scary yellow teeth.
She pulled her weight.
By the same token, she actually really wasn't the one who defeated the Vulture. She defeated the Vulture because her father shot him.
As I recall, in her first confrontation with the Vulture, she decided that webbing onto him and allowing him to tow her along was a good idea, which...
Yeah, at which point he cut the webbing.
Well, yeah,
and-
which predictably resulted in him flying up super high and then cutting the web line. What was her end goal there? Like, how could that possibly have gone literally any other direction?
But did she die? No.
Oh, and she learned
No.
from her mistake.
She happened to land in a fucking garbage boat.
Yeah, and then
That's
got
why
a
she didn't
and
die.
then got a concussion and saw a vision of Spider-Ham.
Yeah, it's her spirit animal, dude. It's only gonna help her from this point on.
You also mentioned when she fought her universe's version of the Rhino. And, you know, her fight with him is impressive until you consider that throughout the entire fight, he literally thinks that she's on his side, and even so, almost manages to accidentally defeat her by hugging her. I mean, that is some sloppy superhero.
Yeah, and then she does a sick drum solo on his fucking face and punches him through a wall.
Was that supposed to be the Rhino?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that was
that's
supposed to be the Rhino.
That's the Rhino.
Oh, I had no idea. I thought it was some random Russian dude named Alexei.
No, that
Yeah.
was the Rhino.
Yeah, he's
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I brought that up in my opening. She only beat him because he was like, wait, aren't we on the same side? You hate the cops too, right?
When her solo series starts, her arch nemesis is the dreaded Bodega Bandit. A dude who, and this will shock you, robs bodegas. That is his power?
You
We
know
all start
what?
somewhere.
Sometimes a girl needs a craft sandwich, okay?
someone has to stop the gerbil criminals.
It seems like way too obvious to say, but Gwen Stacy, unlike Keanu Reeves, does not know Kung Fu. She's picked up some Kung Fu moves from the movies.
She does a damn good job with them.
Apparently not, given the
Yeah.
feedback she gets from Silk, who says that she can't throw a punch.
Yeah, but
When you-
that's
when you
what my
kick that
whole
hard, you
fucking
should-
paragraph meant. Like, in Kung Fu, you don't necessarily have to be like, punch.
Right. Our
Circular
point is that she
movement,
doesn't
it's
do
throwing.
kung fu though. She just like tries to imitate what she saw Bruce Lee do sometimes.
Whatever you want to call it, she does a damn good job kicking butt.
And it
Well,
works.
she
Okay?
And
doesn't-
yeah, maybe it's a little less predictable from your very rigid Barbara Gordon over there.
I don't know, it was predictable enough that Captain America was able to knock her out with one punch.
It's fucking Captain America.
Yeah, who
This
is
is not Captain America v. Gwen.
Captain America, who is a skilled strategist and an excellent fighter, much like Barbara Gordon.
Kit, it's okay because Dan opened talking about people that weren't even in this fight. So we know the argument for Batgirl is weak.
Okay, that's gonna do ya. You did it. Nice job. Team Spider-Gwen. I don't have any more funny things written, so just...
This is a good place for a joke, Colin. Remember
Yes.
to put a joke here.
Glad we could do this on our comedy podcast.
Hold on, could that be my recurring bit? Because if so, it means I'll have to write a lot less jokes.
Only use it 3 times. So you mentioned eidetic memory. It's not going to be useful in this one-off fight. I mean, if she was going to go home after getting her butt kicked, do research on Spider-Gwen, and then come back, maybe, but doesn't really matter. Also, you mentioned Strix. Funny that you mentioned how good she kicked Strix's butt. That was the second time. The first time, Strix could have killed her, but then chose not to, oddly enough.
Okay.
But totally could have killed her. Babs was thinking that in her narration box. She was shocked that she didn't.
Okay, so regarding the first point you made about her eidetic memory not being useful, the thing is, when you're a very inexperienced fighter the way Gwen is, you tend to move in the same way a lot of the time, and that makes your actions and your reactions super predictable. And we see that Batgirl uses her explosive batarangs as mines. Like, she'll put them in strategic locations around a battlefield, and she could absolutely trick Spider-Gwen into thinking she was dodging one attack and actually jumping directly on top of an explosive.
And to that, I say Batgirl is very careful about how she uses those batarangs because she doesn't want to kill people. It was in the fight with Strix that she was like, she knew that the talons could like regenerate. So she's like, all right, I'm going to use the nasty batarangs on you. She's really careful about not using them. I remember she doesn't use the concussive ones on like some non-superhero person because of that.
But Spider-Gwen is superhuman. And we see...
so she's going to use explosives on her? No.
I mean, we see her do it with the Disgraced, which is a group of supervillains that she fights by herself all at the same time.
I will admit, when Batgirl is pushed into a corner and thinks it's going to be life or limb, like, for example, when she thinks her father might die and she's actually willing to kill someone, that's when she'll maybe use that crazy shit. But Spider-Gwen's not going to give her that time.
Exactly. I don't think it'll ever get to the point where Batgirl's going to feel seriously threatened because Gwen has her webbing. And plus, going back to the fighting thing, you're assuming Gwen's going to be moving in the same way or whatever. But even with her spider sense alone, she's going to know not to do that. She's going to start anticipating Batgirl's moves. And Kung Fu alone is all about flowing and adapting to your situation and having all sorts of different moves. Like, you don't ever move like the same way. There's so many different ways to do Kung Fu.
Quickly, in response to the point about Strix, whatever, you guys said Spider-Gwen beat Matt Murderdock, which she didn't actually do. They just kind of had a conversation, and then they both went away because the police were coming. Regarding your point about Gwen's spider sense, I am assuming that she has it, because there's like one or two instances in her books where she seems to have like some knowledge of something, but her spider sense does not seem to kick in as regularly or as helpfully as we see in like the traditional Spider-Man comics.
It doesn't.
Yeah, she's not Spider-Man.
But
she's young.
I'm just saying. I think her spider sense is weak and doesn't often show up, and definitely doesn't show up many times when it would have helped her.
It's better than not having one, unlike Batgirl, who has none, and she's been snuck up on by like super low-powered villains. For all of Batgirl's experience, she is still struggling with low-powered villains. In the earlier comics, she wakes up Black Canary so that they can spar because she's having like this... She can tell there's something inside of her holding her back when she used to kick butt before.
Yeah, that's because she's obsessed with training and bettering herself. You guys talk about how Spider-Gwen is great at Kung Fu. So in All New Wolverine Annual 1, Gwen ends up in Wolverine's body, and at the beginning of one fight, she stabs herself in the face with her own claws, and then is instantly out for the rest of the fight. So she ends up with the power of invincibility, and she still manages to own goal herself.
What would you do if you woke up in someone else's body?
To be fair, Dan, if I were trapped in Wolverine's body, I would do that too.
No. This is Laura Kinney, formerly X-23. This is not Logan.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. Because if I were in Logan's body, I would stab myself in the face to rid readers of my boring.
Shut up, Miles! See,
we're goading you into making reckless attacks, just the way that Batgirl will to Spider-Gwen.
Okay.
I have one final point. Dan, you're full of shit.
All right. Noted.
We already knew that, Kit.
The listeners knew it too.
I will take a picture of my notes. It's right here at the top.
Oh, it is. It's totally right there. Hang on.
And also,
fuck your experience is the second bullet point.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to Smash Fiction this week. Next week, oh wait, it's the lightning round.
Oh, what?
Oh, wow.
Oh, I thought you were going to announce Batgirl versus Captain America, because apparently that's what's happening. Versus the Bodega Bandits gerbil.
Definitely Bodega Bandits.
I thought you were going to announce Karate versus Kung Fu.
Next week it is Spider-Gwen in X-23's body versus herself. All right.
She simultaneously wins and loses.
Thus is life.
Yeah. Batarangs have flown, webs have been slung, our two heroes have spent all night dancing from rooftop to rooftop. The fight has been long and hard, and both sides are tiring, when suddenly, a thin strip of something bright red flies in at high speed from the shadows and starts wrapping around Batgirl. Is it rope? Fabric? Spider-Gwen turns to look, and she too is assailed by this strange substance. Both of our heroines now lie on the rooftop, immobilized. They detect movement in the shadows, and it seems to be a man in a suit and a tie. What is this strange substance, our heroes call out to him? What sort of unbreakable material have you tied us up in? The man grins a sinister grin and says, "You poor simple fools are just the latest to fall victim to the inescapable wrath of red tape." The man steps forth from the shadows and reveals that his face has been wrapped up in the same substance, making him resemble a very well-dressed scarlet mummy. He says, "My name is Red Tape. I was the one that called in the bomb threat today to lure you all here. I am an interdimensional process server, and I wield the most powerful force in the known universe, bureaucracy. I'm afraid that the two of you have been found guilty of the most heinous crime imaginable. Copyright infringement. For you see, Bruce Wayne owns the right to the bat symbol, batarangs, bat-eared cowls, and any superhero name based on any mammal of the order Chiroptera. And Spider-Gwen. Peter Parker owns the right to any costume bearing imagery of spiders, webs, or associated symbols of Arachniae. And also, of course, your web shooters." At this point, Batgirl speaks up. "I'm pretty sure that Batman, gave me the okay to use all his logos and gadgets and whatnot." Spider-Gwen continued, saying, "Yeah, and Peter Parker died in my universe, so I'm pretty sure I don't—" "Silence!" shouted Red Tape. "I don't have the time to explain the labyrinthine rules of interdimensional copyright law to a bunch of monoversal laymen such as yourself. I have a whole stack of similar injunctions to deliver this afternoon. No time to spare. Now, do any of you know where I can find someone named Kylo Ren? How about Scrappy-Doo? Forget it. From this day forward, if you wish to continue to operate as superheroes, you must create new identities for yourself. New names, new gimmicks, new costumes, and new gadgets, all completely disconnected from the hero who you originally derived from. If you are caught in violation of this accord, you shall face the full and unbridled wrath of the Interdimensional Consolidated Bureaucratic Bureau of Bureaucratic Consolidation."
Not like this.
All right, so Team Batgirl went first in the normal round. Team Spider-Gwen is going first in the lightning round. Team Spider-Gwen, take it away.
Kit, do you have anything? Because I have something stupid.
Well, let's see. Okay, so with Gwen's wall crawling and like pretty amazing leaping ability, I'd say she's pretty frog-like, actually.
Oh my.
It's the first, just after Frog Thor. I think she'll be the only like frog-based hero here.
Aside from Frogman, who actually exists in the Marvel Universe.
Fuck him. There's no Frog Thor. Liz, I'm sure you're dying inside. Just go ahead.
Can I just say,
it's okay.
Frogman is kind of amazing, and I love him.
Yeah,
As do I.
He's a
pretty much
Spider-Man
best.
character, and he's great.
Yep.
So, Kit, what name will she have as this new frog character?
Toad.
That's not taken by a Marvel Universe character.
Oh my god, there are a lot of like. We're just stepping on all the copyrights.
Why don't you go, Liz, while Kid is thinking about
I
it?
don't know. I'm gonna go all taxonomical and be like Anura
All right,
Gwen.
so you think about that.
Oh, God.
So for some reason, Barbie is on my mind. And I'm going to take Gwen Stacy in a different direction in terms of being a superhero. She's going to be a superhero, but she's going to be saving...
Malibu Gwen Stacy?
No. And it's not even Barbie. I'm really thinking of like Miss Universe or Miss America or whatever. Or when they ask you, what's the one thing you want to do for the world? And people are like, world peace. Well, Gwen Stacy is going to say, Gwen Stacy is going to say, I want to cure world hunger. And she is going to be known as Gwen's Tasty.
No.
And utilizing her amazing drumming skills, she's actually gonna go to like freaking Cordon Bleu, and she's gonna have amazing knife skills, and she's going to be chopping vegetables. She's gonna be chopping vegetables, throwing them in soup pots, and curing world hunger, and
'Cause-
she's going to
'cause
be a
everyone knows.
superhero.
The main thing that has been standing in the way of curing world hunger is an inability to chop vegetables fast enough.
Well, I think that actually goes with her frog thing too. Frog legs
Yeah,
are pretty
she
tasty.
can deliver it via frog. So Gwen tasty.
Can we maybe establish a house rule that regardless of the order of the match, Liz always goes last in the lightning round?
Nobody can follow her.
Yeah,
ever.
no.
It's
No
not
one can
fair.
top this.
Team Batgirl, what do you have to say to that?
So first of all, Mr. Red Tape, I will point out that Bruce Wayne did establish an organization called Batman Incorporated, in which he franchised out the name Batman to several different people, one of whom is Barbara Gordon. So she actually has her paperwork in order for this, and is infringing upon no copyright, sir. But I'll play your game for now.
Are you calling in Matt Murdock for this shit? Or maybe
Matt
She-Hulk?
Murder
Matt
Dog.
Murdock. So actually, I'm calling in Harvey Dent. He's a very skilled lawyer.
I hear he's pretty two-faced.
Oh, damn it.
Barbara Gordon has actually operated under a different code name in the past, which was Oracle. Now, she, was trying to emphasize her ability to see information because she was physically disabled at the time and wanted to participate in a different way. But she clearly has a love for Greek-centric names and words and that sort of thing, oracles being from Greek history. So her new crime-fighting name is going to be Athena. Athena, of course, being the goddess of wisdom and tactics and war. And Athena's animal was, of course, the owl. So it's really just a very small costume change to go from bat-themed to owl-themed. And all of a sudden, there's a new crime fighter on the streets, and it's Athena.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going in a bit of a different direction with this, because, see, Batgirl's comic book is pretty dark. There's a lot of pretty dark themes in there, so I think she might be using this opportunity to go into more of a sort of a horror direction with this kind of thing. And she'll be thinking about kind of her name and the fact that she can't use the bat thing anymore, and kind of go with the darkest and grittiest of the bat family, which is of course the vampire bat. But she can't use the vampire bat obviously because that's going to be too close. Red Tape's not going to let her get away with that. So, what other kinds of animals are vampiric in nature? Obviously, the tick is out. It's been copyrighted. She considered Bedbug Girl, but that was too terrifying, actually. That was like, she didn't want to... She wants to strike dread into the hearts of the criminal
she's thinking about
underworld,
expanding out into New York, and New Yorkers will have none of that.
That's right. I actually think she might theme her crime fighting around the Kandiru, which is the... Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even have
Yeah,
one,
which-
and I'm just like, oh no.
The what?
Yeah, the Kandiru. It's a fish in the Amazon.
Oh,
Can do.
That is best known for attacking a person by swimming up their urethra.
Oh, one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah. So she's gonna, because she's such a genius with technology, she's gonna invent all kinds of different gadgets.
Oh,
So
God.
she's going to
Design-
particles herself up a person's urethra?
Well, I mean, either that or like design various gadgets that are specifically designed to attack, the urethra.
So what you're saying?
Obviously,
she's going to talk with the atom.
yeah.
It's a new shrink example.
Deploy some nanites.
That is worse than mine.
Oh, that's so bad. I'm glad you went last, Miles.
So she's
Awesome.
she's gonna be a blood-sucking urethra themed superhero.
Urethra 3.
Oh,
I think her superhero name will be Vamdiru or Vampdiru.
we need to pull the cord on this one, you guys.
Not all bats are vampiric. Just gonna say he didn't have to go penis monster.
Maybe that's her name. Fear me, villains, for I am the dreaded penis monster.
Well, you've all given me a lot to think about. A lot of facts.
Colin, I'm going to go ahead and put in a pre-order for Red Tape solo series.
Sounds good. I think I might take a bit of a cue from Batman and Spider-Man on this one when it comes to this judge segment. And
Oh, very good. Very good.
Oh, I get.
Where'd it go?
So that's what it feels like.
Well, Team Spider-Gwen, I applaud you guys. You took that corn dog loving hero and You made her actually sound like she could take on Barbara Gordon.
She could kick her ass. What are you fucking talking about?
I gotta say, I enjoyed reading a little bit of Batgirl because I never had before, but Spider-Gwen, objectively better series.
I have to disagree with you on that one, Miles.
It's so much more fun, dude.
Yeah, it's
like,
so much more fun. And Batgirl, great character. I'm just not hooking me as much as Spider-Gwen.
And Liz, how much of the comics did you read?
Absolutely nothing.
Sweet.
Actually, that's a lie. I did read a little bit of Spider-Gwen, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it seems
good
like your
stuff.
thing, Liz.
Yeah.
It's very punk rock and it's very continuity light. So
Yeah.
those are all pluses. I'm curious, Liz, because I know you're a comic book fan, and you were the one who got me into Wicked and the Divine, which is fantastic. You mentioned you were reading Sex Criminals.
oh, I'm reading that too.
What else are you reading right now, Liz? Because I know you don't really go in for the Marvel DC stuff if it doesn't have Wolverine on the cover.
Yeah, Wolverine offshoots are my favorite, especially in the 2000s. Sex Criminals, Wicked and Divine, Wolverine, the Star Wars comics I really like, although, they're releasing so many, dude.
Yeah, that Darth Vader series, man. It's so freaking good.
I've read some of Saga. I have 3 volumes of this comic called Lazarus. You ever heard of that?
I've heard it's really good. I haven't read it, though.
Yeah, and I just haven't gotten to reading it yet. But, I have all the Top Cow stuff. I love Witchblade and Darkness.
And you read all the Quantum and Woody stuff I gave you for your birthday, right?
Yes.
Oh, Quantum and Woody.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
I know, Dan, you just finished a certain comic that I'm excited about.
Oh, yeah. For those of you listening at home, Miles has been trying to get me for, I think, years now.
Yeah.
To read the comic series Preacher. Although, in all fairness, Miles is not the only person to do so. But yes, as of the day of this recording, I have now read all 66 issues of Preacher, and it was quite a ride.
Now you gotta watch the show, because it's good shit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, because I feel like that's a show that could easily get really bad. Like, if you misunderstand like what the kind of core theme and message of it is, and I think it's easy to miss it under all the kind of hyper violence, that show could get really terrible.
Well, that's the thing about the show, is that it actually deviates from the source material instantly and pretty thoroughly, but it remains true to the spirit of the comic.
Interesting.
And it's just, I know a lot of people were kind of up and down on it. I loved the fuck out of it, and I'm so happy it's getting a second season. I think it's one of the best examples of comic book adaptation, especially in something like Preacher, which is so fucking hard to adapt. Like, in terms of being a comic adaptation, it is the opposite of the Watchmen movie, and I love the Watchmen movie, but this is one of the best adaptations I've seen.
That's good to hear. I've
time.
largely heard good things about it, so I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Harvey Dent. Can we trust him?
Thank you, Colin.
I've been watching it too, and I agree with you, Miles. My only complaint with Preacher is I think that it sometimes doesn't always play fair with its audience, and it resorts to cheap tricks to generate drama and like withholds information when it in lame times. Then I just go like, oh, stupid show, just stop.
I mean, yeah, I can see that, but it's just so much fun.
It is very good.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Okay, you know how
Uh-oh.
Peter Parker Spider-Man meets Spider-Gwen?
Yeah.
Do they ever like hook up? Because they're my ship right now.
No, they.
No, but
There's like a 15-year age difference between the two of them.
you're right. Ew. Oh, I just want them to be together.
Oh. Kit, go to Google
No, I want
and
them to
type
be
what you want to type.
There's a little website known as Rule 34.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
find the pictures. I just want.
I will say they have a very good relationship in the Spider-Verse crossover, because when Peter Parker learns that there's a version of himself that is Gwen Stacy, he becomes super, super protective of her and like refuses to allow her to go on any missions. And but she, very Preacher-esque, actually, now that we were talking about that. But like she does a really good job of like proving her worth and her competence to him, and he sends her off with his blessing, and it's a really good little character arc.
I read a little bit of that. But I did see the panel where she's like touching his face, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah. It's
You
pretty
guys
rough.
have the same powers, you together forever.
Yeah,
now.
and they saw each other die. It's so rough.
Oh.
All right, that's my ship. I just had to announce.
All right,
that.
great.
Thank you, Kit.
For those of you keeping track at home, Kit has emotionally broken down twice on this podcast.
Our recurring segment, Kit's Ship of the Week.
Oh my god, I will do it.
All right. This was a tough one. You guys both made really good arguments from both sides. I think what I eventually figured out was time is on Batgirl's side. The longer the fight goes on and the more time she has to study Spider-Gwen, the better things are going to be for her. She can figure out all her weaknesses and all that stuff. But all that it really would take is one lucky punch from Spider-Gwen to take out Batgirl. So the question for me was just, which of these will happen first? Will Spider-Gwen manage to get in that one lucky punch before Batgirl has enough time to study her fighting style, to learn her weaknesses and all that kind of stuff? And I don't really have a whole lot of data to go on. I basically just have to look at the stuff you guys were talking about. And it really just seems to me like you've talked a lot about Spider-Gwen's kung fu, but Team Batgirl managed to convince me that she doesn't really know kung fu. She just likes kung fu in theory, and that is not the same thing as knowing kung fu. And they both have made a lot of mistakes over the course of their career. They both have screwed up fights and lost fights due to their own incompetence and stuff like that. But I honestly think from what the way it's been portrayed, it seems like it's a little bit more of a recurring thing for Spider-Gwen. It seems like she's not quite as interested in improving herself and training and getting better to the degree that Batgirl is. So it's close. Like I said, if Spider-Gwen got that one lucky punch or managed to web her up, I think she would win. And then Batgirl would, of course, win in the, rematch or whatever. But I really think in this first match still, with no preparation, I think Batgirl could manage to pull out a win on this one, but it would be very close.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry, Liz.
So wrong.
I am,
Oh, man.
I am sweating so hard right now.
Dude, I'd still rather be friends with Spider-Gwen, though.
Oh, no, me too.
She would definitely be more fun to hang out with, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like
I said,
Spider-Gwen might be me.
more
That
interesting
sounds about right.
character. More interesting character, not a Gotham City Bat Nazi, but
Oh, no.
Way better art style, too. I love the art in Spider-Gwen so much.
I agree.
Kit, we have thanks to you about?
Dan's like, all right, I'm sick of you people talking.
Well, you
shit
guys
about
are
this
just
comic
wrong.
that I
Batgirl
like.
is a much better comic, but anyway, go ahead. As
Just,
someone
Yes.
who has read the
Eh.
entirety of both series, Batgirl is a much better comic.
eh.
Eh,
I mean, as someone who's right more often, I
eh.
Depends on which book
Eh.
we're in a comic. All right.
we're just trolling
Thank
the
you,
board. Yeah.
listeners.
Good job, Dan.
Yep.
You were a worthy partner in this cause, and good job, Kit and Liz. You guys
Should have
put
won.
up a fight.
Right, you're right. Should
Put
have.
up a fight. If you had won, I would have been proud of Marvel and stuff. But you
Yeah,
know,
it hurts taking the side of DC on this one. I'm not
I know it really,
No.
it really
Traitor.
does.
Batgirl is good. She wouldn't have
Oh,
won.
man.
if she's great.
I just made DC win. No!
I'm sorry, Marvel.
Marvel can't hear you. They're not listening to you anymore.
I know.
Cold shoulder. All right.
Where's your Marvel now?
All right.
You know where my Marvel is? Doom.
Ugh, your Doom privileges are revoked.
No. Hey.
Check your Doom privilege.
Damn it.
Liz, you yourself have
Damn it,
ruled against
Colin.
a Marvel character on this very podcast.
Really?
Yeah, you ruled against Black Cat.
Oh, see?
Damn. That was another DC match.
I'm the
that I
best
was
judge.
I know. How do you keep getting roped into this, Miles?
I don't know.
Okay. Thank you guys for listening to Colin's wrong decision. But it's time to thank some of you extra special fans who holla about us online. On Twitter, Rafael Medina tweeted about us. Thank you so much. Though I think that was right before he also sort of plugged himself.
Well, I think he was also
French
tweeting about
fiction.
the Death Clock Wild Stallions match, which I know are two
Yes.
properties he has a very intense
Yeah.
emotional interest in.
Yay. We love you, Raphael. Then we also got retweets from Rosalind Scott, Sam Akonda, and Paladin Today. Over to Tumblr, Ross Scott reblogged Hal vs. GLaDOS. Thank you so much. Thank you for the multiple reblogging, retweetings on different platforms. And on Facebook, I think a pretty newish fan, Jay Arthur, shared our Ellen Ripley Sarah Connor match. So thank you so much.
Jay is an old buddy of mine
Oh.
from Flagstaff. He was actually my old boss when I worked at the radio station in Flagstaff,
There you go.
and he's an awesome dude.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Smash Fiction. Next week, Cyborg versus RoboCop versus Inspector Gadget.
Smash Fiction is produced by Miles Schneiderman, with logo design by Colin Mulcairn.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod for our theme song, which is called Hitman. You can find his work at www.incompetech.com.
You can follow the Smash Fiction podcast on Twitter at SmashFicPodcast and search for us on Facebook and Tumblr.
Subscribe on iTunes, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
I'm going to grab some paper really quick so I can take notes without typing. I'll be back in 1 second.
That was like some kind of swamp monster doing its mating call.
You're starting to go like more seal there, Liz.
Thanks, Kit.
What in God's name is
I
happening?
don't know.
It's so late, the insanity has just settled.
Yeah.
This is what happens after 10, I turn into a seal. That's why I love Goose so much. Yeah, that's
I am here. I'm sorry.
All right, let's go.